Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Oh boy. So earlier I did a live that was about the what do you call it? The bullying. How could I forget the bullying? So I didn't want to, you know, attach it to the funner side of things. So I decided to save that until later. So it's later and I'm back. So yes, don't be shocked. This is really happening. You're not dreaming. We are live again. Um so let me grab my slides and we can get to it. We can get to it. Anyway, for those who just came back, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have gone to bed already. I didn't announce it earlier because I didn't want to, but we're back. We're back, back, back. Okay, just putting some last touches on the slide. And I got that. That. Yeah, I had like a whole other thing besides what I did earlier. So I took a little break, I had a bit of a snack, and now I am back again. Um, okay. Anyway, B10 Powell, thank you so much for being here. Let me see who else is here. Emma D. Um, Angela One Love. Okay. Karen M. Hi, Karen. Marshar, Adrian Burrow. Adrian, thank goodness you're here. I was thinking we may not have any moderators at this hour. So yeah, I didn't say anything about coming back because I was hoping that anybody who needed to go to sleep would go ahead and sleep and not try to stay up. It doesn't matter if it's just a few of us here. Um, okay. Let me see. Ginny Rock Bailey, hello. Thank you for being here. All right, slides are coming up. Yeah, I didn't want to keep anybody awake unnecessarily. They could always watch tomorrow, right? All right, and there we go. I know, I know. Well, I think in exchange for, I don't know, staying quiet about the, you know what, divorce. Excuse me. Um, or who's, they may know someone, not necessarily a family member that's going through a divorce. And, you know what I'm saying? So, Adrian, I'm pretty sure that you have a full schedule with family and friends and stuff like that. There's always work to be done. Like for instance, my aunt is what do you call it? She's retired, but oh my goodness, she does so much with the family. It's like I don't think she's ever worked as much when she had a corporate job. So work is work. And the payment we receive, well, sometimes we are paid with love and kisses, right? Right. Oh, by the way, you guys, I got some good news. I have a new office chair. This one is squeaking, but I decided to wait until it is like totally gone and then I'll put the new one together. So the new chair is in a holding pattern. This one, I actually broke it. I what did I do? I was trying to scoot forward and the wheel got caught and it just snapped right off. But I was able to fix it by, I'm just like MacGyver. I took like a wooden clothespin and I jammed it into like the little hollow space around the part that holds the actual like metal, um well, anyway, the thingamajig. So I broke it so that it would keep a tight seal around that one little piece of metal, and it works. It works. Well, I don't see a need to throw it away until the other one. I do hate this chair squeaking, but or you know what, B10, you just gave me a good idea. Why don't I put the new chair together and leave this as a reserve? Why wait until it's completely gone, right? I can use this one as the spare just in case the other one gets kind of wonky. B10, you are brilliant. That is a great idea. That is the smartest thing you never said. Keep this one as the spare and set up the new chair. Okay. Okay. But yeah, this chair, oh my God, this chair has gone through some miles, hasn't it? It's so comfortable though. It is so comfortable. It wasn't when I first got it, but it's kind of like that time when I was a kid and gosh, I was growing so fast and so fat that when my poor mom purchased some pajamas for me, I started walking up the steps so that I could go to bed. And then I remembered I had to come back downstairs. And my mother said, "How did the pajamas fit? Did they fit okay?" I say, "They fit now." From the first step to the last step, I want you to know the breeze was getting stronger and stronger. I mean to tell you, the whole back of that thing was, it should have been a hospital gown. I've had hospital gowns that revealed less, okay? So when she asked me, do they fit? I said, they fit now. Anytime you can sit down and do a number two, if you can drop a couple of deuces and you don't even have to roll anything down or unbutton anything, then yes, now it fits. It fits too well. Um, I'm glad you all had dinner already. But what about the people who have not had breakfast? Sorry. But anyway, welcome back. You're not seeing things. I didn't want to mention that I was coming back because anybody who needed to get their sleep, I didn't want to keep anybody up, but I didn't want to do the other bullying stuff with this one. You know what I mean? The bullying thing, oh my, it's so redundant. It just takes so much out of me. I'm sure it was frustrating for you as well, but I felt it necessary to share that information because there are some people that are only just learning about some of the things that the Sussexes have been through, and I just wanted to make yet another permanent record of it, or to inform, or whatever you want to say. It was, that's what it was, a chance for people to learn the truth because there's been so much said and so much done, and the Sussexes do not have what Kensington Palace have. They do not have what um, the Clarence House, Buckingham Palace. They don't have that kind of infrastructure. They just have each other. They have what other, their agents or whoever represents them, and they have their friends, and of course they have the Sussex Squad. They don't have like a whole television network, not to mention the palace. Their sphere of influence goes well beyond the borders of the United Kingdom, and Harry and Meghan don't have that. And so that's why I think it's important to make a permanent record of these things because every day they do the best that they can to portray Princess Diana as this loony, crazy person who was in above her head and that she was playing games with the press and such. And it's just so unfair. And I hate bullies. God, do I hate bullies. So that is why we're here. And so that's out there. Hopefully, it will be a tool to people who don't know, even some of the other squatties, just as I've learned from people. Hopefully, some of the other squatties will have those talking points they need. And of course, those talking points are to the best of my recollection and totally, dependent upon the type of record keeping or the type of receipts that I managed to gather over time. So that took a lot out of me, you guys. The whole bullying thing. That's why I just abruptly was like, okay, I got to get out of here. I don't want to think about this for a while, even though I'm going to talk about it a little bit coming up, but not so in depth like earlier. So, and let's see what happens. I know this is not going to go anywhere. This is just something to try to slow their momentum. But the point is, the information is there. So just in case they try it again, hopefully more people will be able to push back. Tash Max says, I know the bullying claim don't align with the person Meghan has been since childhood till now. Meghan wrote letters of encouragement. The royals have restrictions from prosecution for racism and sexism. Yeah, Tash Mac, I mean, it was the one thing that they could do that would inflict some of the worst possible misery upon someone who has spent a lifetime in service of others, is to try to paint her with, and of course, as we all have been saying, it is the usual palace projection, projection. If they're saying it about one person, then it's probably about someone else. And sadly, more often than not, they get away with it. They really get away with it. And I was even lured into believing some things about Diana that I'm embarrassed to say at this point. It really didn't make any sense at the time, but I'm like, oh, I guess I was wrong about this or wrong about that, only to find out because of what happened to Meghan. The good thing is they won't be able to get away with that forever, and that I'm pretty sure that at some point that Harry is going to set the record straight about his mother, or continue to go even further to set the record straight, because it's like Diana has been killed not once but twice. They killed her a second time. It's a repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay, thank you so much for your comment. All right, so it is World Book Day. What's left of it for me? About an hour and 8 minutes. World Book Day. Now, I'm not sure if this is World Book Day UK or is it World Book Day everybody. This is probably the third time this year that I said it's World Book Day. But well, anyway, happy World Book Day. Now, I didn't see all those kids dressed up like before, so I cannot be sure that it's actually World Book Day, but anyway, and if it's World Book Day, then of course it's Prince Harry's Spare Day, because it has been the best-selling nonfiction book in history, the best-selling. And if that one guy was right, because someone was saying that I don't remember the amount, but Harry was paid what do they call that? In advance before the book was written, and then he got like a big bonus on top of that. Is that true? I can't remember the numbers, but please add them if you can recall. But yeah, I think that there was like some bonus that he got. I hope he did. Mackenzie, thank you so much for becoming a new member of Royal Sussex. And if you have just signed up again because maybe your card expired or something like that, welcome back to Royal Sussex. Okay. So, right here, Prince Harry's homesick calls to King Charles before royal event to seek reassurance. Now, you guys, I did not read that article. I did not feel inclined to give them any what do you call it? Clicks or engagement. Um, but in spite of that, remember, most times nobody reads these articles. They just forward them to the next person or they add them to their timeline, certain that they're going to say something nasty or disparaging about the Sussexes, whatever the case may be. Still, we know what the angle is, and that is they're trying to paint this image of homesick Harry, who's made a big mistake by going to the U.S. and abandoning his family. And remember when they tried to say he abandoned? Oh, no, he turned his back on the military. Well, that was worth a lawsuit. That was worth a lawsuit. But whatever the case may be, of course, it was a big lie, just like this is a big lie. But if there is any truth to it, what is that saying? It is saying that somebody has been leaking again. And perhaps, I'm just going to say, maybe Harry did make a phone call. But surely it couldn't have been for the same reason that they state that he's homesick, or remember they told him you have to give us 38 days notice before you show up. Remember that? Maybe that was what the call was about. Whatever it is, just like when Harry went back to see his father, who is stricken with cancer, they eventually decided that Harry was only there for 15 minutes. Harry went from being with his father for a total of 45 minutes down to about 15 minutes. They lie. So, why should we believe this? In less than 2 weeks, Prince Harry will fly back to the UK to mark the 10th anniversary of Invictus Games. Much has been made of his return, and he is likely feeling some trepidations about how his visit will be received. You guys, Harry has fearlessly returned home again and again. As a matter of fact, I would wager you it's easier for Harry to return to the UK now than it was when he was in the army. Before, Harry would rather be in the field of battle than to go back to the UK. The only interest that Harry has in the UK is his charities, and he wants to share his birthplace with his children. But we know that Harry is not so keen to be there. Whatever they say, Harry is not so keen to be there. He couldn't wait to get out of there. And we all know the response that he gave Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper said, "Do you think you?" Nope. No. And it was just like Anderson Cooper didn't even get the words out of his mouth, and Harry said no. Harry's home is Montecito. That's where his home is. His home is in California with his family. Why they like to pretend like his family is something that's negotiable, I don't get that. But they act like Harry does not uh, see his family and their place of residence is home. How sick is that? Montecito, where there are no leaks. There's no leaks in Montecito.
So I ask you, where would you feel more at home? Montecito, California, or I don't know, Kensington Palace, Great Windsor Park, and the Frogmore? Or would you feel at home where your mortgage? I mean, there you go. Home is where your mortgage is. I think I just coined that phrase. Home is where your mortgage is. And his mortgage is in Montecito, right? So forget about that. His kids are there. His wife is there. His home is there. His business is there. And maybe because of the whole business with the change of address, they're going to try to find some kind of way to downplay it. Boy, I tell you, some people don't handle rejection well, do they? Okay. Well, I've heard that earlier listening to Spaces, and the question is, I want to know why they are claiming that Invictus Games' 10-year anniversary is in May when the first one was September or October. How do they know he will be there when the Invictus Game Foundation doesn't mention it? Okay, that's a good question. Truth is, we won't know until he gets there. He may do like a Zoom call or something. Um, and also, Archie's birthday is what, the 6th? And what date is this thing? Is it the 8th or the 4th or something like that? But as for the date, I don't think the date should matter that much because the whole concept of the Invictus Games was probably created earlier in the year, right? So when did they refer to it as the Invictus Game? Not necessarily when the game took place, because is it the anniversary of Invictus Games or is it the anniversary of Invictus, period? Right? So I wouldn't necessarily throw cold water on the idea that they're celebrating the founding of Invictus in May rather than, say, September, October. I believe September would be the actual date when they had the first game. But surely they were referring to it as Invictus sooner than that. The concept of Invictus had already been in place before the game started. So I guess it really depends on, for the purposes of celebrating, which date would you choose? Also, let me throw another one out there. It would not be unusual to celebrate something, especially for the Royals, to celebrate something on more than one occasion within the year. So I'm not going to say the Invictus celebration is going to look anything like, say, the Jubilee, but it's not necessarily a 1 week celebration or a 1 day. It is a 10-year anniversary. So the 10-year anniversary could last for the year in little small ways, or it could be simply one date on the calendar, not necessarily the one that's coming up. So I guess my answer is we won't know. The other thing is that Weissman, um, what is his name? The tall guy. Anyway, he said that he would. Oh my goodness! You know what? The person who would know would probably, well, I don't want to say that person's name, but there's one squatty that has kept in contact with him, and he said he would let her know what they had planned. And I have not heard her speak of it yet. So that is the other way that I would watch for the actual date. So, Tashmac, I think there's an excellent chance that this may not be an actual visit from Harry. There's an even better chance that Meghan won't come at all. So, It's the usual anticipation. Will they or won't they? Will they or won't they? But the only compelling thing that says that Harry may be there is that they had leaked something on the website for the St. Paul Cathedral, but it still could actually be Harry on a Zoom call. But we'll see. We'll see. Or Dave Weissman may actually be there to represent the Duke of Sussex, or that what's his name, AJ, the other guy that he's friends with. Maybe AJ could represent him. There's no reason to believe that he would have to be there. Someone could actually show up to represent him, and that whatever celebration they're going to have, uh, to your point, may actually happen in the fall. So, good question, though. Good question. I'd like to know myself for certain exactly what's going to happen, but we may have to wait until that day before we get any clue as to what's likely going to happen, or should I say, what will happen. So, anyway, I hope that was helpful. Uh, okay. Ingrid Source, thank you for being here. Kadaja Jacobs, thank you for being here. Okay. Thought Charles was so sick, but yet he's strong enough to make a frivolous award for Kate, and her charities are gone. This is so disgusting. An award for a mute woman? Let me see. May 6th, they always is that plan around Archie's birthday? Yes, it always seems to be something about Archie's birthday that triggers them, and they decide that everything should be held on Archie's birthday, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's like, why would Harry want to have to rush back out again, you know? So, you guys, we may be surprised by what happens soon. Um, we may get surprised. We may get surprised. We may see it one way and something else happens, but I have no inside information whatsoever. But I'm just saying it may be something that will not only surprise us, but will shock everyone. So we'll see. We will see. I'm kind of curious now. I would like to know exactly what's happening, but it's going to be interesting. Either way, it's going to be very interesting. Was that through with that? Oh yeah, I guess I was. I previously reached out to his father, King Charles, for reassurance. Yeah, reassurance about what? About what? I mean, likely security, I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't know. Something's not making sense with that. I just think this is just a petty leak. Um, and that's probably all it is. It's just a petty leak. Somebody's leaking the story, and it could be that it's something from Kensington Palace, and they're not sure what the plans are, and they're just trying to bluff their way into finding out. Maybe, maybe. Okay, let's continue then. So there's a beautiful collage of American Riviera orchard, thanks to one of the squatties. That is really cool. And hey, Big Mama, not everybody is happy about American Riviera orchard. Right, Nana? You don't look happy. No, No, I'm not happy. Oh, well, the American Riviera Orchard. Now, somebody looks fit to be tied, don't they? I would say somebody is rather hostile. I mean, when we were kids, remember how they used to say, don't make that face. What if your face freezes? I couldn't imagine. Well, I could imagine her looking like that forever because she looks like that most times. But yeah, somebody is not a happy camper because of the American Riviera Orchard. They know what I know, and they know what you know. And I know they know what I know, and you know, and they know it. And that is this American Riviera Orchard is going to be incredibly successful. It may be that which pushes the Sussexes over that $1 billion mark. I cannot wait until the day that somebody looks at a couple things and say, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't billionaires. I am waiting for that day. And when it does happen, I am going to buy Nana a new wig. I'm going to buy Nana a new wig. All the wigs she wants. Okay. And take a look here. Cloud Nugget. Cloud Nugget says, since the monarchy relies on popularity for survival, the line of succession has been amended. So instead of depending upon William and George, why not go with the most popular thing to ever come out of the royal family? Jars of American Riviera Orchard jam. Yes, since they're going, since they keep doing these polls and taking surveys, why don't they do something more practical? If it's something that is really popular, put them in line for the throne. Let me see. YM Joy says that's the moment her wig heard about the GBD, the GB news cuts. Thank you, YM Joy. Cuts? What cuts? Nobody's cutting my job. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, my throat hurts. Oh, well, if it isn't the oh, I can't do it. But uh yeah, I wonder if is it required that you take a rabies shot for handling wigs from certain places of origin? I'm just asking for a friend. If I ever hear that somebody caught the rabies from a wig that they received from one of those online stores, my thoughts are instantly going to go to Nana. That seems like a excellent source for a rabies outbreak. Farm raised free range wigs. That's right. That is a free range wig. Unlike some wigs that are kept in cages and locked up for days and never actually see sunlight before they're turned into, a wig. Um, I couldn't imagine what Nana's hair has been through before it found its way down to the GB News studio. Oh. So yeah. So anyway, that was Cloud Nugget. Now look who's a happy camper. It looks like Could it be? Is it possible that all of that whining and moaning and complaining? No wonder she's been so quiet. Looks like what's her name? Angela Levin. It appears as though she received her own a little care package from Montecito, California. Either that or she's gone through a great deal of trouble to make up one. Oh, and there's a banana that says you're number one. Now, the last time I saw someone write a message on a banana, they were giving them to, oh, never mind. They were giving it to ladies of the night. And I couldn't believe that under any circumstances. That one right there would not be capable of earning any. If I was her, I'd stick to doing these little guest appearances because, yeah. But yeah, the last time whoever made this, I'm not sure what they're trying to say, but I'm picking up what they're putting down. I think the banana is them calling her a name, probably. That's what it implies. Maybe they come up with some kind of adjective to describe someone who is totally obsessed. Kathy Bates, eat your heart out. Here's another one that someone made. It does kind of have that similarity to the tale of an author who was obsessed with a character in a book series. And because of her obsession, she managed to trap that writer and keep him locked away from the rest of the world, supplying him with a typewriter and newspapers, anything it would take to resurrect her favorite character. And it appears as though in some loosely based scenario, we have the same thing here. Some crazy dingbat writer who has written a book or two, and I spent 15 months with Harry. It's all because of Meghan. I know everything about Harry. Yeah, so Misery starring Angela No Neck Levin. Okay. Okay, I tell you, squatties, this is very, very good. I I I could see this. I could actually see this. So wow, I just got a chill. This really scares me. uh, and this was fun. One of the squatties on Twitter, they found a image of one of her long lost relatives, Mr. Magoo. You know, I've had some more, or should I say, some older images of Mr. Magoo, but right here it appears as though Mr. Magoo has, started working out. He's wearing these tight T-shirts and probably living in a, it looks to me like perhaps a LGBTQ community. Yeah, so whenever he ran away from his family, it appears as though Mr. Magoo, who is actually the genetic father, the biological father of Angela Levin, whoever the other guy was, I can't really speak to that, but the resemblance to Mr. Magoo is so striking that I could not imagine. That's the DNA test I need. Is just sight on sight appearance. It couldn't be any other way. A face that miraculously frightening could not have happened twice in a lifetime or twice in a millennia. It just couldn't. So, yeah, I think that if I was, you know, Angela Levin, which I'm glad I'm not, but I think Mr. Magoo has done pretty well for himself. There may be some money involved. Let me see.
What's that? Stevie Rose when Baron does. And oh, that's for someone else. Okay. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Oh yeah. Well, I tell you, I I think this right here is probably a wig in desperate. And if it's not a wig, I tell you, if it's not a wig, and that is how deliberately bad her hair is, then that's even scarier. But I kind of think that that's a wig that needs to be washed. But yeah, so as I said, the love child of Mr. Magoo and God knows who, it even rhymes, Mr. Magoo and God knows who, Angela Levin is the love child of the Hanna-Barbera, was it, character? Mr. Magoo. Yeah. Even, see, glasses or no glasses, the resemblance is uncanny. See that? Couldn't be anybody else. Come on, y'all. We can't blame Angela Magoo Latrine. Meghan was the only one she could see because of her complexion. That's why she is friends with Nana. Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense, Lex. That makes a lot of sense. Can't you tell me what I could see? You have an agenda. No, you have an agenda. Oh my god, that was so funny. That was so funny. Okay, in his memoir Spare, well, I won't do the whole thing, but I shared this with you. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Remember, Angela Levin had actually saw a parody account. It says parody, and she thought that the parody comment was true. In his memoir Spare, Prince Harry claimed that the name of the midwife who helped Diana deliver him was Meghan. And of course, she was just like in Spare, Harry writes, and I remember distinctly mommy calling out to Meghan right after she gave birth to me and thanking her. I think that's when I knew the name of my future soulmate. Words fail me. So Angela's saying the words fail me. Like, how could Harry remember from his own childbirth that the nurse's name was, or midwife's name was Meghan? Truth is, Harry doesn't remember. He doesn't know. I don't think anybody could possibly recall that situation. Just your brain's not developed enough. But according to Mrs. Magoo, she is shocked and appalled that Harry would dare say he recalls the day he was born. It's a parody account. A parody. It's not real life, it's a joke. So, right here, imagine just taking quotes from a parody account and tweeting them as fact. Words fail me, said one of the squatties. Well, if you take a look here, this is what I could not find when I put this together, but I found it since then. And what it says is, here we go. It's kind of small, but it says, does anyone know of a 4-year-old who is so bright he knows the date of his birthday and insists his party is on the same day? Now, I believe that she was making a reference to Archie, right? So let's talk about Angela Levin and her incredible ability to recall things. Like right here, my mother was so cruel and hard woman. It's taken her years to confront it, but Angela Levin makes a taboo breaking admission and reveals why she believes countless other suffered just like her. Okay, so down there it says
At age just 3. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Age just 3. I decided enough was enough, and I had to leave home. I gathered my favorite dress, which, by the way, that's that dress that you see on that troll doll. That's it. My favorite dress, patterned with bamboo and flowers, my potty and my doll. She vividly now, age 3, she vividly remembers taking a deep breath, then taking my mother, telling my mother, you're not a nice mummy, and I don't want to live with you anymore. I have no recollection of what my mother said, just what she didn't just that she didn't try to stop me. Well, okay, I could believe that didn't try to stop me. I just don't believe she has any recollection. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. She was taking what they call artistic license. She wanted something interesting to write in her book. I'm pretty sure that that is somebody else's story, and somebody who was older than 3 years old. I mean, come on. Come on. This is the person who just recently said that Meghan viciously elbowed someone on the stage. Uh, uh, uh. And she was, uh, uh, uh. Okay. And she doesn't see well. She probably didn't see that well when she was 3. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let's see here. That woman lies when the truth will do. Yeah. Yeah. It seems as though she just cannot stop lying. And then in response to that thing that she said about Harry's memoir, someone said, "Are you drunk?" Someone else tweeted, "Angela Levin is a liar. Angela Levin is evil." Someone else tweeted, "Not in the book, liar, liar and crap." And then, oh, okay, I'm sorry, liar. The last person that I have here tweeted, "Why are you making up words? This wasn't in the book. Did you forget your meds again, Angela?" Did you forget your meds? Lord have mercy. Did you forget your meds? I love it. Are you drunk? Did you forget your meds? Don't you accuse me of being drunk. I'm not drunk. You're the one that's drunk. You only invited me here because you wanted to make fun of me. I know what you're doing. You have an agenda. uh, yeah, she probably got on her burner account just to console herself. Now, Kate Middleton is honored by King for her years of public service. Does this include the summer that she worked on the yacht? Or does this include those late night meetings with Sir Richard Branson? I'm just asking for a friend. Anyway, for her years of service, does this include throwing your behind out the window every time you heard some voices outside of your dorm room? Does it include that? I'm just asking for a friend. Anyway, what did it say? Oh yeah, Kate Middleton is being honored by the King for her years of public service. Does this include letting your dress fly over your head? Huh? I'm just asking for a friend. Does this somehow, somehow is like returning the favor to all of the service men and I guess service women that have enjoyed being mooned by the Duchess of Cambridge? I wonder. I wonder. Anyway, now what was I talking about? I'm just kidding. So let me see. Princess of Wales becomes the first member of the royal family to be appointed a royal champion of the Order of the Champions of Honor. Okay, so you know what? That's going to need a little work. That title is kind of fussy, isn't it? First member of the royal family to be appointed a royal champion of the Order of Champions of Honor. Why does that sound weird to me? Anyway, that is the trinket right there that you get for keeping your mouth shut while the lawyers try to sort things out between you and your partner, if that is allegedly what's happening. Let me see. Well, Adrian Burrow, that is a good point. How did Camilla let that happen? Or or has something else terribly bad happened? And this is another way to seem like a loving family, but something has happened, that's for sure. And even though we don't have the facts, we all know that something really bad and sinister may have happened to the Princess of Wales. You know, it's something about that blue ring. I think that ring is jinxed, is cursed. It is cursed. I'm so glad that Meghan did not take ownership of that ring. I'm glad it went the way that it went. They lied about how it got there, right? Harry was in Afghanistan or something. Anyway, Harry was nowhere around when that ring thing happened. He was told about it. Nobody asked him anything. So, mm I'm glad Megan got the tank watch and that aquamarine. They could have that blue stone. It's cursed, just like the Hope Diamond is cursed. Let's see, what would Angela Levin do with that banana? You know, if she reads it, I'm okay with that. If she just reads it, if she reads the banana and she understands the evolution of that message, what it implies, I'm okay with that. Don't you call me that. Nobody calls me that. Only my mother calls me that. uh, okay, I better keep going. Let me see here. Now, this is the honor that the Queen gave. If you have never seen this up close, this was the highest honor. And oh, you know what? I just thought about it. Maybe that's why Charles did that. Maybe Charles wanted to make sure. Nah, probably not. Anyway, I was going to say maybe Charles wanted to outdo his mother, but why with her? There's other people that deserve it so much more. But yeah, or or remember, I was saying the big momentum. There's too many good things happening for the Sussexes. Remember, Meghan said 2024 was going to be a spectacular year. And you all, I'm not telling you where to go or what to do because I'm not trying to give anybody an engagement for printing some of the nonsense or writing some of the nonsense. But in one of the situations that I saw, actually, I'm going to just say, no, this has been every day. It seems to be an uptick in comparisons of Kate and Queen Elizabeth. It seems to be an uptick. Don't go and look for yourself. We don't want to give them that engagement. Just let the content creators do certain things, please, because they're getting rich off of us. And when you open up certain things, you're actually sending, especially YouTube. when you look at something bad on YouTube, make sure you delete it from your history. Otherwise, not only are you going to get other videos from them same horrible people fed to you through the algorithm, but the rest of the Sussex squad that watch similar things are going to believe that everybody should see that. And next thing you know, we're all clicking on the stuff that we should have left alone. So that's why I say it's so important not to even click on those things, and then go to those 3 dots and make sure you put not interested so they won't keep coming back. That will, at least we won't have to see it, because a lot of those hate channels, they never come up in my algorithm because I did not interested. And if I have ever accidentally clicked on one, I always remove it from the history of my views. That way they don't get encouraged to bring it back. So just some advice. But anyway, that's that thing that you always see them wearing when they have the state dinner. And it has an image of the Queen. It's a cameo of Queen Elizabeth II. And it's on that. This is like really low resolution, so it looks, pretty bad. But there's like a little bow that they pin it to, and then they pin that to their gown that they wear on the occasion. So that was the highest honor that the Queen could bestow upon a princess and member of the family. So that's why this gift from Charles is so interesting, because, and maybe Charles did that because he didn't have anything else that he could do that would be outstanding. So he just gave her that award. I don't know. Well, I guess the only thing that we should do now is to reach out to Kensington Palace and see what they have to say about it. Because, in fairness, I just think it's the right thing to do.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her. And she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day, and going forward and things, it is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
And the members that I have met so far have achieved a lot. Oh God. Well, you know what? The other reason why she probably got that award is because
reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
Well, that explains it. She's an old-fashioned mute woman. I bet they hate that she ever said that. Oh, I bet you they hate that. Now, I promised you a photo of the Sussexes that has been pretty rare in my guesstimation, but take a look there. I don't know that I've seen like anything as vivid as this. I mean, this is very, very minimal makeup for Meghan, which is her go-to. Looks like her hair hasn't been done for a while. Just, this is the Meghan that Harry spent time with Actually, I would say Meghan was even more stripped down when they were in Africa, because when they went on that date to, what was it, Botswana, I don't think she wore any makeup. But yeah, so this is them, just their everyday at home working selves. That's it. So clear, so crystal clear. I mean, it's almost like you can see their pores. Wow. Very cute. Yeah, one of the squatties posted that, and I think that's one of the kids, or I don't know whose head that is there, but I saw that. It's almost like you could just reach out and touch them. Very cool. So sharp and vivid. So almost like, yeah, like they're like right there. Okay. And now let's go to Tom Gargamel Bauer. Tom Gargamel Bauer. He, of course, was used as the reason that they should talk about this whole bully thing, as though his words are so compelling and so important. But let me see. Tom Bauer, the dam of silence on Meghan's bullying at the palace is finally broken. This trickle may soon become a stream, he said. This trickle may soon become a stream. Well, they put it on the shelf, right? Remember 2022, when Robert Jobson was gasping for air. That was the last time that any of the royal reporters spoke about it. There's always the odd chance that they may want to start beating this drum again, only because the Sussex's momentum is skyrocketing. But if they do this, and I hope they're listening, you're making a big mistake. You're making a big mistake, because right now, Harry and Meghan are in a much stronger position than they were a year ago this time and a year before that. They're in a much stronger position because there are tens of thousands of people that have started watching Suits. There are tens of thousands of people that have seen Suits and did not realize that Meghan, married to Prince Harry, is the same as Meghan from Suits. Okay? I say that Meghan's popularity is at an all-time high. No matter what those polls say, Meghan's popularity is at an all-time high. Now, whether or not everybody likes her, I don't care about that. Her popularity is at an all-time high. She is clearly the most influential royal. Not Kate, not Camilla, Meghan. If there's a fragrance, a clothing line, eyewear, you name it. If there's anybody selling something, they want Meghan. They want Meghan. Meghan and Harry, if they could pull it off, either way. But they want Meghan. Meghan is the moment. Period. Full stop. And guess what else I found? While I was looking around for stuff, I noticed that photo has this something that's like an appendix, right? Like an appendix. You don't really need it. Sometimes it ends up, causing harm, and they just go in and take it out, and it doesn't do anything in particular. It's just there. It's an appendage. And that's That's what that person is right there. But the difference is he causes a lot of harm. He's not necessary for any situation unless you're trying to ruin someone's life. And then, of course, Jason Knopf will be there. Yes, lurking in the background, Jason Knopf. Didn't notice him before when I saw this picture. I was too busy looking at Kate infatuated with Prince Harry. I mean, take a look to your right, take a look to your left. You know how they always say that? I want you to take a look to your right. Now take a look to your left. They always say that. They say that in church sometimes. They say that at a business meeting, at a rally or something like that. Well, if somebody said that to Kate, whether they say right or left, you know which direction she's going to look. All they have to do is say, now take a look, and that head is going to whip right around, mouth askew and all. Yeah, I think she was infatuated. So there you go. Jason Knopf, the troublemaker. You know what? You know what I've been saying for a while? I believe that William has his own brand of courtiers, and that those courtiers are capable of, how do I put this in a way that is not going to get me in trouble? I think when he's ready for a certain gathering or something like that, that they can help him out. They can get him what he needs to be happy. How about that? That's not saying too much, is it? I think they're able to procure happiness for William. Yes, that's it. They can procure happiness, just like with William's father and that, is it Michael Forsythe? Whatever his name is, Michael Forsythe. I think when it comes to procuring happiness, they know exactly where to go and what to do to keep people happy. And that is why they're there. Now, I can't really say for the Fly, Simon Case. I don't know which team he's on, but I kind of think when it comes to Simon Case, there is no team. There's no I in team. So I think he can pretty much, roll with it either way. So, but those are those people, and remember, it's kind of a blurry image, but when William went to the hospital to see Kate, it seemed like Christian Jones was in the car that followed him to the hospital. Now they, didn't say otherwise. And remember, I zoomed in on it. We all looked the same hairline, the same nose, the same ears. Still not a very clear, vivid image, but Christian Jones. Why would you bring Christian Jones to the hospital with you? There was a Royal Protection Officer in the car with William, and it seems as though the chase vehicle had 2 occupants, one of which appeared to be Christian Jones, someone who's capable of procuring what is necessary. And of course, there's Knopf, who, again, same thing. Lex says, what is that? Kate is not the linguistic, but I think, I'm sorry, what is that? Linguist? But I think his fellas are. Oh. Okay. Well, you know what? There's something going on there. There is something going on. And I think that William he's going to be loud and proud about it
whatever it is. He's going to be loud and proud about whatever it is. That's for sure. And you know what? More power to him. More power to him. And maybe if he gets what he wants out of life, maybe he'll be a nicer person. Maybe the reason why he is so vicious is because he's not able to just be himself. And maybe he was leaning. Oh, by the way, thank you, Legs. Maybe he was depending on Harry to give him the cover that he would need to be himself, right? Because someone was saying that Harry was brought from the battlefield to go to Jamaica when they were talking about leaving the Commonwealth. They sent Harry, not William. Do you guys realize that William has not really had good training as a future monarch? Now, I think the Queen Mother did some things with him. I don't suppose that Queen Elizabeth has. I don't think that he ever spent that much time. Like, try to picture an occasion where you saw William get in the state Bentley and ride to church with the Queen, right? It seemed like once he got to a certain age, he just did not bother with her. But I know that there was like when he was a teenager, they would have the lunch at Windsor Castle or whatever. But it seems like since then, William has not had any guidance. So Charles hasn't taught him anything. But this is why they do not send William on those overseas engagements. I'm trying to think. They came to the U.S., right? Right after they got married, they did the rounds. But since then, where have they gone? They went on the Oceania South Pacific thing. I know they did that. So there was that one. There was the U.S. I know they went to Canada, but they haven't done much. And then, bizarrely, William declares that he is going to do things solo, just out of the blue. This is why I say there may be some lawyers involved. And because George is the heir, maybe it was agreed that George allegedly will be with his father and the other two kids will be with their mother. Allegedly, possibly. And otherwise, there may be some lawyers involved. Maybe. It's hard to say. Palace staffers rescinded Meghan Markle's bullying book claims. So let us remember that they rescinded those claims. The two Buckingham Palace staffers who accused Meghan Markle of bullying have reportedly rescinded their claim in the epilogue of their newly updated biography, Finding Freedom. So whoever those people were, they rescinded their claims. They did not want their names involved. They certainly did not want to have to face the Duchess of Sussex's attorneys, her legal representation. They decided they'd rather not. And, you know, like I said, I don't doubt that things were bad, but I don't believe it was because of Harry and Meghan. I believe that they were trying to serve two masters, for lack of a better word. And it was, you know, and given William's volatile temper, they were in a tough position. They were in a very tough position. Because remember, there were some people, some of the staffers,
They were in tears when the Sussexes were leaving. They were very sad for them, but they cannot say anything because professionally they will be destroyed. They will be destroyed. They will destroy them. So it's better for them to not say anything unless they're moving out the country, unless they're going to, and even then, it still would not be safe for them. They will have a professional downfall if that happens. Okay, picture of the week. So I was neglectful. I did not realize that there were 2 photos of the week. I only knew of the one on the right side, but it appears as though also celebrated at that time was the image of the Duchess of Sussex and the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Serena Williams. This one I missed, but they let's just say this. Technique wise, it's not a great image. There's a lot of stuff out of focus, but that's not the point. What makes it the picture of the week is that the most influential royal woman in the world, if not most influential woman, and of course, the greatest of all time when it comes to tennis, women's tennis, is also present. And these 2 friends, these 2 giants, are bonding and connecting as they have on several occasions. But remember, they said that they were not friends anymore, that they drifted apart. You know, Meghan doesn't have any friends. She ghosts everyone that ever gets close to her. But yet, there you have it. Serena and Meghan having a good time. And of course, there they are, casually chatting. Now, one of the derangers I heard said that, and you know what, guys, the derangers, they tell the most epic lies that they knew someone who said that Serena wasn't going to come until she got her money for being there. Serena, who is approaching billionaire status. Okay. Serena, I don't know if you guys know this, but she has invested very, very well. And she continues to invest very well. Her husband, he invests very well. They are a power couple. A power couple. He's a tech millionaire or billionaire. And she, of course, has invested in a lot of things. And so there you go. The last thing, of course, that she has done that we all know of is her makeup line, which is called Wyn. W-Y-N, Wyn something. But yeah, so she's doing okay. She's doing okay. And they are friends. And of course, there's Harry, who has been a Better Up coach right along with Serena, who has also been a Better Up coach. And I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Williams is not also invested in the Better Up, among other things. It's an old saying, money keeps money. And that, of course, means that when you have money, you're around other people who know how to make money, right? They take care of each other. And of course, there they are, just 2 girlfriends hanging out. So thank you, Mysterious Squatty, who reminded me, or alerted me, should I say, that there was another photo that was the picture of the week. So I decided to put a little collage together. Or not a collage, but a montage, a vignette. And of course, you know, this one is my favorite. This one is my favorite. And don't forget, you guys, the lady standing, the lady with the braids, That's the one that Meghan brutalized. Uh. That's the one that Angela Levin said Meghan repeatedly elbowed. I mean, look at her. She's so timid and afraid. She can barely get close to Meghan, because she's so afraid that Meghan is gonna uh uh uh. Yeah, and she and when she tried to uh and it was just I've never seen anything like it. Meghan saw her and she just, now you can't take your photo here, and she just went yeah. Yes, clearly a karate chop. Clearly a karate chop. Obviously, Meghan has had some training. She's had some training, and everybody is afraid of her, terrified. Royal expert hangs up after being challenged over Meghan Markle. Do you know what PR is? Angela Levin abruptly ended a call after being called a troll during a heated exchange of words live on Talk TV. Well, yeah, that happened, as well it should have. Still, that was hilarious, and it has been my best day since Christmas. All right, and then right here, Deputy Press Secretary to Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and Director of Communication at Archwell. So this is the guy, Kyle Boulia. I made a little short video about him. He was hired, and as you can see, it did not take long for him to change his LinkedIn with his new appointment to that position. Deputy Press Secretary, let me see, also 5 to 6 years he worked at United Talent Agency, Corporate Communication Manager, Assistant Manager Corporate, Associated Corporate Communication, Assistant to the Vice President of Corporate Communication. So yeah, that's what he did those years while he was working at the United Talent Agency. Let me see. I'm happy to share that I'm starting a new position as Deputy Press Secretary to Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, at Archwell. So there you go. He's happy. I'm happy for him. And there's another photo of him. And that, of course, is, okay, I forgot the girl's name, but that's who he answers directly to. So he's the deputy, and the girl on the left side there, she's the boss of that communication job. And, of course, there's the Duchess of Sussex. Yeah, so they're all going to work together very, very well. Let me see. Angela Simmons says, hello, Baron and family. Just listening, have to catch replay. Serena just had a baby recently. Yes. Yep. Thank you very much. And thank you for being here. Let me see. Yes, Serena has a new makeup line. Let's see, Baron Squire. I wish Prince Harry had finished his second part of his book. All in due time. All in due time. You know, the book solved a lot of problems for them because before the book, they had the docuseries, they had the Oprah interview, and so just think of it as a trilogy. The book kind of picks up where those other two things finished, but in due time. 800 pages would be probably too much when you could say what really needed to be said at that time, and it took about 400 pages. So when the rest of the book comes out, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. But he should concentrate on building a place for his family. financially, physically, all of those things. And then he could always go back. And especially with that 400 pages, maybe if he would have done more, it wouldn't be the best-selling nonfiction in history. So I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. Plus, things changed after the Queen died, right? That's one of the reasons why they had to go back and tweak the book, was because the Queen died. So that was probably very necessary, and it's gonna be perfect. But thank you for your comment. I always say, trust the Sussexes; they know what's best. Gwyneth Paltrow, Meghan Markle, and more celebs are proving high-waist mom jeans are still very much in. So I didn't really think about it when I looked at it, but yeah, I guess she is wearing those high-waist jeans. And of course, if you don't know what the mom jeans are a bit faded, right? They're not stonewashed. Usually they're just faded jeans. They're not the dark wrench, the darker tone, but they're kind of not sky blue, but anyway, they're not so dark. And the waist goes up really high. Now, if you want to see something funny, there is a video that you could watch Saturday Night Live about the mom jeans. Oh my God, is it hilarious? And also, I just want you to know that one of our former presidents has been accused of wearing mom jeans. Barack Obama, whenever he would go casual, he would have on some denims, but they were usually too pale. I think they say that older adults should stick with the darker hue and not wear the paler blue tones are, kind of out of fashion. But there was Barack Obama out there with those high waist mom jeans on, throwing a baseball. It was hilarious. So he didn't take himself so serious. Those were his favorite pants, and I think Michelle made him retire those pants at some point. Anyway, somebody gave him a makeover and he stopped wearing them. But as we all know, everything looks good on Meghan. Everything looks good on Meghan. She can pull it off. Okay. I think I'm almost done here. Oh, by the way, you guys, if you didn't see it, there was the, what do you call it? The St. George Day. Anyway, the flag that you see there, that is the St. George flag. And the St. George flag is the flag of England. Scotland has a flag, and Wales has a flag with the dragon. But yeah, that is the official flag of England. And so it was St. George Day today. Now, oddly enough, St. George is not an official holiday. It's not a bank holiday or whatever, which is kind of weird that they don't give them the day off. I mean, I don't live there, but I think they should have a holiday for St. George Day. Anyway, a lot of people are frightened when they see that flag. I think you could compare it to the United States, where we have the Confederate flag or the rebel flag, which is synonymous with the South, the Civil War, and it has been used to represent all things Southern, mostly by white people. And so for Black people, when you see that flag, that means you're not welcome. That means you're not part of the event. And some of the state capitals were flying the flag, and eventually they retired it. I don't think any of the states use it anymore, because just like with the St. George flag, it seems like it has some kind of racist overtones. So we just don't use it. We don't use it anymore. at least should I say, is not widely accepted in public. But when you go south, there it is. So if you're, and if I get any of that wrong, please let me know. But that is how I understand it. Is that some people look at it as being racist. Let me see here. Anybody? Let me show you another photo. There you go. Now, I don't know exactly who started what or what this all means, but apparently it they were were they like protesting or something like that? Does anybody know why the police got involved? I'm sorry, I don't know why. I didn't really pay attention to it. I just thought I would share it to hear what your thoughts were about the flag or anything else where that's concerned. Let me see. Not heard about purchasing? Oh, no. Anyone? Oh, gosh, I wish Elaine Parker was here. She would definitely know. But I guess, that being said, I can do some research about it. But yeah, if I went to the UK and I saw that flag, I would start feeling unwelcome. I would probably just avoid it because the way I understood it, and I mean, there are government buildings and stuff. It's not the same as the rebel flag. I don't want to imply that it's the same as our rebel flag thing. But for some reason, it makes any non-white person in Britain, well, most non-white people in Britain feel a certain way when they see that flag. So, all right. Well, if nobody has anything to, King Charles needs to give permanent security to the Sussex family. It's so weird, and thank you for saying that. It's so weird that one of the guys on the GB News, he just flat out said that if anything happens to Harry or his family, that it is the government's fault, and there is a few people, which is kind of scary that that they're even saying that, but there are a few people that are saying that if something happens, then it's the government's fault. And I think what they're really trying to say is that it's Charles' fault, but they should be protected. Plain and simple, they should be protected. There should be no question about it. And the fact that Charles is playing so fast and loose with something like this is literally the safety of an entire family, of his child, of his own child. And because of his relationship with the press, or just because Charles is a monster, or both, he has taken away the protection for his grandchildren, for his daughter-in-law, and shockingly, his own son. He has taken their protection away. He can well afford to protect the Sussexes wherever they are in the world. I'm glad that they're paying for their own protection in the U.S., because if Charles was paying for everything, or if he paid for anything, there would be constant complaints. But when they're in the UK, that is where the bulk of the threats have come from, was from the UK. And when they're in the UK, they deserve to be safe. They deserve to be safe. There's no other way to put it. They deserve their safety. And Harry is offering to pay for it. And I think that if it wasn't, well, you know what? I can't blame that totally on the tabloid media, but the tabloids don't make it any easier. Like when the Sussexes were in Canada and Justin Trudeau has to come out and say, well, no, we won't give them permanent protection. Well, okay, it wasn't Canada's place to do that anyway. Charles should have been doing that. But I think that the hostility that was built up from the tabloids is the reason why then eventually Donald Trump says that we're not paying for their. I don't want that to be a topic of discussion. I don't want their security to be a topic of discussion. And the actual cost of security for the royal family is not up for discussion. And they don't discuss it because they say that that is an issue of safety, right? So it's never good for anybody to have the price of their security as a topic of conversation. But yet it keeps happening with Harry and Meghan. And the more that happens, the more unsafe they are. Does that make any sense? It should not be a topic of discussion. It should just be, and that's the end of it. So the more that they talk about it, the more that they leak to the press, the worse off things are for Harry and Meghan, for their family. So yeah, I wish it was that part of it for sure, whether they pay or don't pay, whether it's provided or not provided. I would just prefer that nobody talks about it, because that's when it becomes dangerous. If you don't talk about it for the rest of the family, then stop talking about it for the Sussexes. But they keep doing it because we all know that the tabloids, they don't care if anything happens to them. They're not going to lose any sleep. They're going to sell more papers. They are going to sell more papers, and that's all to it. And also, whatever happens, they are just going to blame Harry and Meghan for it. They played a dangerous game. They made mistakes. They'll blame them for it. So let me see here. Hello, Baron. You hit the nail on it when you said, when you see this flag in any one window in UK, you know they are racist. So you are right. Okay. I kind of thought that that was like the implication. Is that it implied some like white nationalists? And I know that it's also the symbol of the EDL, which is, by all accounts, a racist organization. The EDL, which is the English Defense League? I think that's what it is. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think one. Okay, let me give you one of the more bizarre displays of that flag. This one is, and you know what, and you may have seen it before, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Okay. Now, I did not see this group around town, but I know that they were probably out there. Are you ready for it? There you go. What about that group? Anybody see them on telly? Did anybody see that group on telly? Yes, no, maybe. Now, if I saw that group, I would turn and go the other way. I would turn and go the other way. I would not take my chances. That's a rough looking bunch. A bunch of what I don't know, but ooh, you know you fat when your draws disappear. Didn't you know this was coming? Didn't you know this is coming? Oh, I love it. Which one is Jobson? Which one is Jobson? I love it. Okay, let me take them away. Shall we? Do we want to do this one again? I got it already. Do we want to do this one again? Let's enjoy it, shall we?
They hang up. Well, no, it sounds like you've got a vendetta against Meghan Markle. That's what it sounds like. You sound like, Angela, with respect, you sound like a troll. You sound like a social media troll. Everything you can point out that's incorrect.
Very rude. You don't call someone a troll with respect. That's without respect.
No, it is with respect.
Let me talk about something else. Abigail Spencer, who is also a friend of Meghan's, she has given the 6th jar of jam, right? And we would see her lying on the grass, hugging it, with the dog close by. It was a very sort of set up thing. That's one when she's sitting up. You're sitting down. And I thought, how ridiculous. This is a jar of jam. Why are we all getting hysterical about a jar of jam?
Who's hysterical about it? It's PR. She's trying to sell something. This is called advertising.
I know what PR is.
Well, with respect, clearly you don't. You're saying it's so set up. It's a PR stunt.
You're here to fight me, so why don't you say goodbye?
I'm not here to fight you. I'm just laying out the truth to you.
You're very rude.
No, Angela, you don't want to be challenged. You won't be challenged and you won't be scrutinized. I'd like to know. Oh, and she's gone. You see, this is what happens when you challenge people. When you go to them and you say to them, "Here's some facts. Here's some truths." Some people don't like it, and if people can't answer the truths, what do? They hang up. Well, it sounds like you've got a vendetta against Meghan Markle. That's what it sounds like. You sound like, Angela, with respect, you sound like a troll. You sound like a social media troll. Everything you can point out that's incorrect.
Very rude. You don't call someone a troll with respect. That's without respect.
No, it is with respect.
Let me talk about something else. Abigail Spencer, who is also a friend of Meghan's, she has given the 6th jar of jam, right? And we would see her lying.
You know what? With respect to Angela Levin.
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Yes, now that's respect. But as one of the squatties pointed out, a midnight feast during our camping out last night on the mall. Well, that is JJ, the same person who just got through dragging Angela Levin. He's there with what's her name? Sharon Osbourne. And they spent the night together on the mall, waiting to see the coronation go by. So I think that he's in a position where he's on television, which is something that is rare for, people of color. Even nowadays, it's still kind of rare, especially in the UK. And rarer still that, he doesn't have that, how it is. I guess I'm being very careful with my words, but they love the mixed race child with the big curly hair. That seems to be a way they could ease into putting a black person on television or in a campaign for an advertisement or whatever. So yeah, he looks very different from what you would expect a a Black person on television in the US or the UK or Brazil or any place else for that matter. But again, these are modern times. So still, he's lucky to be on television. And so he has to walk a fine line. So I don't fault him for the work that he does. I haven't heard him say anything so overtly negative about the Sussexes, but these shows in most cases are theater, and the talking points are usually agreed upon long before the broadcast starts. So still, I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that she got a good dragging. Just like Vanessa, when Vanessa dragged her that time, it was long overdue, and she gets away with saying the most horrific things day after day, and nobody ever puts her in her place. If he said Rumpelstiltskin, she would have free. Thank you, Legs. But yeah, so there you go. Oh, I like that comparison, like a bison kicking up dirt. Yeah, still, I love this one. Is like I love this equal to the one with Vanessa. They were both really good, where they dragged Angela Levin. Okay, so with that, you guys, I'm just about done. There is our Duchess creating that amazing silhouette, which once again was there was an attempt to hijack that appearance of our Duchess, but there's nothing like the real thing. There's nothing better than the original. And our Duchess really nailed it that time. But we all know that the cloak, wearing the cape, that is Meghan's domain, not that other person who tried to hijack it. And also, did you guys know that even in ancient Roman times, there has always been a William of some sort, like this William that was actually taken down by some of those senators, Roman senators. As you can see, William, or whatever the equivalent of that name is in ancient Roman times, is actually being pinned to the floor by some of those senators, and that he is going to be impaled with, what does they call it, aubergines or eggplants? It appears as though he is being flogged and impaled by eggplants. And back in ancient times, there was a mysterious woman with dark hair and those haunting green eyes who did not say much. She could barely talk. But I guess they called her Catherine the Silent, or in modern days, we call her a mute woman. There she is bearing witness to this horrific act. And of course, one of the senators was disguised as a man, but it turns out it was actually what in modern times we call the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, also attempting to impale and flog and impale William. So tough times back in those days, huh? Really tough. You didn't think things got so deep back in those days, but apparently it was just as savage as it is now. Poor William the Conqueror, or William the Terrible, whatever his name was. Oh, Lorna, you see it? I did this one myself last night, actually. I saw this painting and I'm like, where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this before? So the third Bridgerton is coming out May the 16th. we've already had the first one. Now, these are based on a series of books. And, well, I think every child within that Bridgerton family is going to have their great romance. That is the goal. So let's see how it works out. Yes, but apparently there's a series of books. Pretty cool. You guys, I came across this. I didn't have a real reason to share it for today. But do you guys remember when they had the entire cast of Loose Women paneled? One day they had the whole panel was black and it caused a huge uproar. There were people who really showed their colors, if you know what I mean. They freaked out because there were too many black people. You know, for some, that's their worst nightmare, is seeing too many black people all in the same place. But yeah, it says right here, Loose Women all black panel hit with onslaught of racist comments. But remember, nothing that happened to Meghan is really about race, right? It's just she doesn't understand things. She don't know our ways. Well, apparently she does. And I think everybody gets it, especially when you see something like this. The fact that the entire panel was black caused a panic. ITV's Loose Women presenters were faced with a barrage of racist comments on social media because they were in an all-black panel. The popular daytime show featured host, news presenter Charlene White, singer and actress Brenda Edwards, comedian Judy Love, and actress, is it Kelly Bryan? The quartet all wore blue outfits for the special episodes. Son Edwards, it was for her son that passed away. Okay. How about that? That was 2023, I suspect. And people freaked out because they turned on television and saw a bunch of black women. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. I'm sure that some of the emotion was like that of the Hindenburg disaster. All of those people, all those black people, oh, the humanity. Yeah, somebody was freaking out because of that. Lex says the UK is not a racist country. At least that is what we are told. Yet these things keep springing up. They admit there's classism. I don't know why they don't admit the racism. Well, remember, in the US, it is, if somebody's racist, that's just the way it is. But in the UK, it is more covert. Here, it is overt. There, it is covert. And so that's what makes it so sinister in the UK, is that so much of it is hidden and there's so much gaslighting that occurs. Now, that being said, I had a wonderful visit to the United Kingdom on several occasions, and I never, ever felt threatened, although there was a incident which I could say may have been racially motivated. But that's, again, the sinister thing about racism, is that sometimes you question yourself about things that may be totally innocent. But, you know, there's that sixth sense where you just can't ignore it. So was I singled out because I had a first-class rail ticket, or was I not? Sir, may I see your ticket? Now, I was walking toward the front of the train, and he seemed to think I may have lost my way. What are you doing going to the first class? I bought a ticket. That's why. So that was enough that it did not ruin my trip, but somehow I'm still thinking about it. 6 years later, I'm still thinking about it. And that is why racism can be so sinister. Okay. Again, there's that photo. I didn't realize I did it twice, but Guess what? I think I did it twice, but that's okay. Can admire it again on our way out. And this is another newbie. I never saw this one before, but I love it. That, of course, is our Duchess. Just having a moment. Looks like she's doing a photo shoot, actually. But this is one of my new favorites. And what can we do to stop living in fear? That's what you can do. If you find yourself so afraid of where this world is headed and what's going wrong with the world today, start with turning off the television. Put down your electronic device. That includes me. If ever you feel as though you're getting too overwhelmed, just walk away. Just walk away. It's not worth your mental health to deny that you're not coping well or you're not feeling good. So walk away. But there's a few people in my world, in my close relations, that watch television and moan and groan about how bad the world is. Well, I got news for you. People in Gaza have been living like this for over 70 years, right? There are people in lots of countries that have been influenced by the Western powers that have been living like this for years. Like some of the countries in Africa, where the outside influence of the French and the Americans and the British and the Germans, and God help us, the Belgians, they have made life very difficult. It's unfortunate thing is that Africa is so mineral rich with cobalt and all of the other things, gold, diamond, stuff that fuel the electronic industry, fashion. They have those things in abundance. And so they haven't known peace ever since the first white people showed up. So your quality of life from watching the news, I'm sure those people that are suffering from the expansion of power from Europe and the United States, I'm sure they trade places with you in a heartbeat. So things are not that bad. There's always been war. There's always been greed, hunger. There's always been these things, violence, but it's amplified because you're watching it on television all day. Step away. Go out, touch grass, enjoy the sunshine, and stop thinking about how bad things are. Things have always been bad, but they've been good too. There's nothing new. As they say, there's nothing new in the world. Everything is just repeated over and over again. So, good night, you all. Thank you for coming back. And our last word of the day is: great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt. One more time. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. If you find your time is spent talking about everybody instead of doing things yourself, you might have a problem. So that's all. That's all. It's something you can loosely interpret any way you choose. But I like that one. Eleanor Roosevelt, an amazing, amazing lady. Thought she was incredible. Brave. And with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you, Mod Squad. And whenever you see our queens, it's time to go. Y'all know what I mean. Oh, thank you for coming back, Cookies and Cream. Zubaydah Ali, Marshar, Ebony Unicorn, Lydia Washington. All right. Oh, I'm gonna try to do something a little different. Maybe I was thinking earlier today when I said, "Oh, I'll be back later." The only way to make this work is to not have 2 and 3 hour Royal Sussexes. So I'm not sure it's going to work. But I was thinking of doing a shorter format, maybe a shorter, thing twice a day, depending on the news, of course. I was thinking about that. But again, let me think about it. Definitely not this late. This is like way too late. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to change things up just a little bit. Okay. Thank you, TBTB. Good night, Lorna Williams. Good night, Angela Simmons. Thank you, Ingrid Soares. All right. All right. So that's it. We've had our last word, our queens, and it is time to end with Madam Duchess. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, and in case you guys didn't know it, Duchess of Success. Good Lord, it took me a minute to think of that. Duchess of Success. She's back. She's back. Her troubles are over. Yeah, her troubles are over. So Duchess of... Oh, yes. Yes, we'll do a Trenchtown coming up this week. I promise. We will. We'll do a Trenchtown. But yeah, Duchess of Success is back. Yeah, we haven't had Trenchtown in a while. Trenchtown man was singing his song. Hey, Prince. Prince.